Right, thanks. Welcome so much. Welcome. One welcome and all. I just felt like streaming today. It's such a blessing to be able just to plug in and play some songs. Today, I thought, I've been so busy with the production of the album. We were set to launch the album in December. As you can see, that little countdown right there, that little countdown. So it was supposed to go out December 1st, but what I'm opting to do instead is to actually release the songs per month. So for the next 10 months, starting at the end of this month, there will be the finalization of the recordings. That all gets sent down to my mixing engineer in Port Elizabeth here in South Africa, and he does a great job. He sent me most of the tracks that you're currently listening to right now. These are the tracks I'm going to use to actually record the vocals for the last couple of songs. I've already done 3 complete songs mixed and mastered with the vocals and the full band, and then one is still with Jared at the moment. So what's going to happen is then from November onwards, on the 30th, on the last day of every single month, the songs will be released on all the major streaming platforms. That'll give you a month to listen to the song. Next month, a new song will come out until I've pretty much released the whole album. And what I will then do is take all the songs and upload them as a full album, and that'll be at the end of September 2022. I want to make some music videos and lyric videos for most of the songs. I think a lot of people use their video streaming platforms to actually consume music as well. So what I want to do today is just play you the songs. They won't be in any particular order of how they are on the album. I'm just going to do it acoustically. The first song that I'm going to do is called Life Goes On. And that's actually the name of the album as well. It's the title track on the album, Life Goes On. It was one of the first ones I wrote. I did add the harmonica into the song, which is something that I think it needed. I knew it missed something. I just didn't know what it was. And I saw this little baby in a music shop one day, and I saw that it was tuned into the key of E, and I thought, let me just buy it and see how it sounds. Originally, years ago, I had tried it on a chromatic harmonica, but that one's got a little button on the side, and you've got flats and sharps in there too, so it's difficult to play it while you're playing guitar. Well, baby, you think you got it all figured out. Let me tell you what it's all about. You think by breaking my trust you have won, but all you've done is load those bullets in my gun. And I'll shoot him down, I'll shoot you down, drive you both into the ground, pack your bags myself and kick you out of my hometown. Know what you did was wrong, and you still think that I'm not strong. Well, this is what I have to say. Life goes on, you are strong. There's nothing out there that can ever get you down. Life goes on, you're not alone. I'll be right here with you, take it one day at a time. Oh, sha-na-na-na-na-na-do, sha-na-na-na-na-na-do, sha-na-na-na-na-na-do-do-do, yeah, no. Right now I'm sitting sitting on my porch with a bottle of Jack and a blowtorch. Light a baseball bat and watch the sun go down. As I'm inhaling all the smoke, thinking of the promises you broke. I will be just fine, this is what is on my mind. Life goes on, you are strong. There's nothing out there that can ever get you down. Life goes on, you're not alone. I'll be right here with you, take it one day at a time. Oh, sha-na-na-na-na-na-do, sha-na-na-na-na-na-da-da-da-do, sha-na-na-na-ba-ba-do-do-do-do, yeah, yeah, no. Life goes on, you are strong. There's nothing out there that can ever get you down. Life goes on, you're not alone. I'll be right here with you, take it one day. Oh, one day at a time, life goes on, you are strong. There's nothing out there that can ever get you down. Life goes on, you're not alone. Be right here with you, take it one day at a time. That song was called Life Goes On. I think I wrote that song in 2008. But I think it was pretty much like the first song I wrote, with the intent of actually writing a song. And it kind of just came together very simple. It was just like one of those songs where you just sit down, you're in the mood to write, and you just write something that's kind of inspired. Obviously, there's some history behind it, and like relationship-wise, what I was going through at the time. There's a long story behind it. I'll explain it more when I play Behind Closed Doors, but I was in the same mindset, and I was in the same kind of heartbreak at the time. But just coming out of that, not so much in it as I was in it when I wrote Behind Closed Doors. But I do know that things were starting to feel okay for me. It started to feel like I can actually move on, and you go through heartbreaks and troubles and trials and dark times, but there's always hope, and you get out of that. So yeah, that's where that song came from. Okay, so this next song is called Behind Closed Doors, and I think the lyrics tell the whole story, really. So there might not be too much need for explanation at the end, but it's still a song that's quite dear to my heart. And whenever I play it, I don't think I'm emotionally attached to the song anymore in that aspect. In the early days when I used to play it, I would actually break down because the emotion and the words were just so deep to me and what I was going through at the time. But as time goes on, it just becomes another song, you know what I mean? And sometimes when I just play it, I think people can still feel that emotion, and that's kind of important to me, because it's a different process, and the way that the song has been recorded is going to be vastly different from the acoustic version that I'm going to play you now. I mean, it's kind of the same song, but I think the emotion and the tone is different than the full band and I do love both versions, really. I think does he know that he could never love you as much as I did? Does he know how much you'll care for me instead? And that I'm always inside your head? And does he know call me every single night, and that you miss me around when you guys fight, and that you still think about me when you get high? And am I only saying these things to make myself feel better, make the pain go away? And am I only dreaming of you to make those nights feel shorter? 'Cause what I was before, I'm not anymore. But let me go. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Oh, and does he know that you still want me to be the father to your child, and that you still want me for the rest of your life? You're only wasting his time. And am I only saying these things to make myself feel better, make the pain go away? And am I only dreaming of you to make those nights feel shorter? 'Cause what I was before, I'm not anymore. Let me go, and I will find my way. Let me know you got something more to say. 'Cause when I see you hold his hand in yours, I wonder behind closed doors. And every single night I die a little more inside. And am I only saying these things to make myself feel better, make the pain go away? Am I only dreaming of you to make the nights feel shorter? What I was before, I'm not anymore. Let me go, and I will find my way. Let me know you got something more to say. 'Cause when I see you hold his hand in yours, I wonder what goes on behind closed doors. And every single night I die a little more inside. And the basic story behind that song is I was dating a girl. I mean, I thought that she was the one. My sister was dating a guy who she thought was the one. It's young love. We were young and we were kids, and it was really the first time we've experienced that. And we kind of experienced it together. But then what happened was that the one and the one ended up being each other's ones, So that was a tricky situation. But we got through it, and we listened to a lot of Daughtry and Three Doors Down at the time. It was like breakup songs. So, we got through it. And thinking back, it was a good time. It was a time of bonding with my sibling and going through tough times, and there was somebody else going through it with me. But yeah, man, sometimes you think this is the end, and it's really not, Just people come and go in life, and it's just how it is. I'll do this one for you. It's called Paper Plate. It's probably going to be the first single. It's being released at the end of November this year, and it's just one of my favorite songs to play. Paper plates and magazines is a lonely man's life. Doing all your dishes in some old sunlight. Go to bed at 2 a.m. and you just can't wake up. Late for work again, yeah, it's the same old stuff. So now you talk to yourself out loud, and you ask the Lord questions all about living life and how to love, and who's the one you're thinking of, but you still don't know how your heart will grow. Love again, yeah. Come home to an empty house, no, there's just no one there. With Degenerate on the TV, talking about current affairs. Hey Ellen, I did right to a crisp as I was playing guitar. Well, that's a simple price to pay when you wanna be a star. So now you talk to yourself out loud, and you're asking God questions all about living life and how to love, and who's the one you're thinking of, but you still don't know how your heart will grow. Love again, yeah. Would you cast yourself in the fire, or would you lift your hands up high, and would you harness all your vengeance and let the dead just die? Yeah, skin and bop, do da da do do, skin and beam, I'm do do do, skin and beam, I'm do do do, yeah 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 no, skin and beam, I'm do do do, skin and beam, I'm do do do, skin and beam, I'm do do do, yeah 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 no. Oh, do you know how it feels to be alone? Do you know? Yeah. Oh, do you know how it feels to be alone? Do you know? Yeah. Oh, do you know Right, that song is called Paper Plates. It kind of just relates back to the time when I was a single guy living alone. I had a nice little apartment in the East Rand of Johannesburg, and I was working at a music shop at the time. And life is just good, If you look at the first verse, paper plates and magazines, a lonely man's life, and it's kind of like my thing. That was my thing, to go out and buy a magazine, not a dirty one, just like a music magazine or something. Every week and on weekends, I would just go through them, read the articles, and just try and be a better muser. The internet wasn't really a part of my musical journey at that point. So books was quite a good thing. In fact, when I was in the UK in 2004 and 2005, I used to go to the library all the time. But it was a good time, and I would get home and I would only use paper plates, because if I had used, I don't even think I had proper cutlery, whatever, just normal plates. Maybe I did, and they were just cracked and broken or something. I was just lazy, so I used paper plates so that I could just chuck them away when I was done, and I wouldn't have to wash the dishes. And if I did wash dishes, I would put the water in. It's all nice and warm with the bubbles. And in South Africa, we've got a brand called Sunlight Liquid, and Sunlight Liquid is what we use to. It's like the major brand to clean your dishes with. Or what that refers to is that when I was actually, I would leave the water in there, because I would put the water in, put my dirty plate in it, and then I would go and watch TV or play guitar or something, and I would leave that water there for like 2 or 3 days, and then finally 3 days after, I would actually have to end up redoing the water, or I just quickly put some gloves on and put my hands in there and just wash that. I mean, it's only a plate, really, but I hated washing dishes. I still do. But anyway, so that's the story behind that. And then because we didn't have any streaming, there's nothing really to watch but the normal SABC or ETV channels that we have here. That's kind of like just normal antenna. And they used to have Ellen DeGenerate on there. So I would watch all these daytime talk shows when I got home from work. Not that I endorse Ellen. I think she's a terrible human being. Hey, Ellen. Okay, this song is called Light Side. Since you've been gone, it's not the same. People have changed, and I can't even grasp that a hexagon cask is what I've got left to put all our memories into. Light side, bright lights, you are and shine amongst the galaxy of open skies. Light side, and time will meet again, my friend. Where have you gone? I miss you so. Side, bright light, you wanna shine amongst the galaxy of open sky. Light side, and time will meet again, my friend. Where have you gone? I miss you so. story behind that song is actually a pretty sad one. I had a friend named Eric, or in Afrikaans we would say Erik. Erik was a good friend, man. He was a great drummer. So one of the first bands I was ever in. I finished high school, I went to the UK, and I was there for almost a year, and then he came over, and we stayed in the same house, stayed in the same flat, we shared cigarettes. It was just a really good time being his friend, you know, and being together, experiencing things, and going to see bands, and touring the country there, and then just talking about music all the time. And we just used to lie on our beds in our room and just like pretend that if we had superpowers, what we would do to make the world a better place, you know. And yeah, so in 2006 when I came back, he was still there for a few months, and he came back and he bought himself a really super fast motorbike. And he was at my house one day, and he was bragging about this motorbike, how he does like 100 kilometers in 10 minutes or something. You know, I'm not very fond of bikes, so I just told him, you know, be careful, my friend. You know, a couple of weeks later, I saw him at the local watering hole, and he had told me that he had sold his bike and he was going to buy a drum kit. And he loved Tool, man. Tool was his favorite band, and he wanted this Danny Carey signature kit or snare or something. So I was just really happy about that, and it was literally in that week he had been riding on his bike and got under the wheels of a truck. And you know, the strange thing is, I was out with another friend of mine. We were taking a trip, and the only thing that the police could uncover on his cell phone was my mother's number. And they phoned my mom, you know, saying that she, like her son, has been in an accident. They thought that she was his mom. And obviously that made her heart to sink. But when they mentioned the bike, she realized that it was not me that they were talking about. And that I did not, you know, own a bike. It was a sad time. Lost a very good friend there. And I remember that I'd started writing this song shortly after his funeral. I was in a dark place because I missed my friend. And I was sitting there one night trying to write this song, Lightside. And I had his little funeral envelope, pamphlet, booklet thing on the table. And I was just looking at his pictures while I was writing the song. And the best way I get over things is just with music, you know. So I ended up writing the song, but I never finished it. And then I remember it was always in the back of my head, song, and I even laid down the guitar tracks for it in the studio. I knew what the structure was of the song, I knew what the feel was, and I had the first verse and a little bit of the chorus written by that time. So I actually just put it on ice for a little bit. I never really had like fixed lyrics to it. When I would play around, it would just always be something different. And then in 2013, I was in a band called Because of Betrayal, and we had just started kind of making a name for ourselves locally in the scene. And we lost one of the founding members, and the great guitarist Dwayne Tomovic. He was also killed in a motorbike crash. And then I ended up performing Lightside at his funeral, at Dwayne's funeral. And I pretty much, the week before the funeral, I pretty much finished Lightside. I sat down and I wrote the second verse. So, you know, the song really has memories of both those friends of mine who I lost. ties that bind us will be severed. You might say goodbye, even though you try, till we meet again. We'll be together till the end. Goodbye, my friend, I guess I'll see you again. Goodbye, my friend, this is the beginning, not the end. Something's written in stone, and I will never have known. Makes me cold to the bone to think I don't ever wanna be alone. What you said that day when you turned your back and walked away, my friend, I'll tell you this today, it doesn't matter anyway. Just say goodbye, even though you cry, till we meet again. Be together until the end. Goodbye, my friend, I guess I'll see you again. Goodbye, my friend, this is the beginning, not the end. Not the end. You only have one life, so make the best of it. You only have one shot to show them what you got. You might say goodbye till you cry, till we meet again. Be together until the end. Goodbye, my friend, I guess I'll see you again. Goodbye, my friend, this is the beginning, not the end. Not the end. Yeah, that song was called Live the Day. And it's kind of like just a carpe diem thing, you know. It's kind of like a play on words of seize the day. But not just seize it, you know. Don't just take the day. Actually live in the day and live in the moment. And it's, you know, we thought our fleeting friendships would last forever. That's kind of a contradiction, because fleeting means it's only there for a short time. So we kind of knew that those friendships we had made was going to not be forever. But we thought at the moment that maybe, just maybe they would, you know. So the story behind this song is in 2008, I was selected to be a part of some kind of like a TV show, if you want to call it that, where it was like Big Brother, really, where they took 20 musicians and they put us in a house, and they had cameras everywhere, and every week we had to break up into little bands within the house and then do some cover songs and write one of our own songs and perform it. And then there were like guest bands and judges. So it was kind of a big thing. It was a very big production, and it certainly cost them a lot of money to do this. But nonetheless, it was a great time, and I went and I auditioned as a drummer. At the time, I was fully into playing drums, and they said, "Well, we can see in your portfolio that you play the guitar as well, and you know, can you sing us a song or something?" So I did, and I got accepted into the house as a guitarist. Now, I'll say this right off the bat. I'm the first one to admit this. I am a lazy guitarist, really. I learned 10 chords when I started playing guitar. Took me a few years, and I pretty much, that's all I know. I don't know any scales. I don't know any theory. Yes, shame on me. Shame on me. I know, I understand. But that's changing now. I'm getting into learning a lot of new things. But for the most part, if I know those 10 chords, I know how to use software. I can transpose things and just kind of play the chords that I'm familiar with, and that, and then transpose the songs into the keys that I sing them in. So early on, I learned how to do that, and, it never really bugged me that I wasn't an amazing guitar player. But nonetheless, they put me in this house in competition with some great guitar players, guys that were really structured in their craft, and had really good chops. You know what I mean? I was a drummer, and at the time I hadn't even picked up a guitar for a long time. So I would have actually preferred then rather put me in as a vocalist, but that didn't happen. So guitar it was, and needless to say, I didn't last very long in the competition as a guitarist, but it was a lot of fun. So I think in like week 2, I was evicted out of the house or whatever. And the main reason why I joined this competition was because the final guest band on the show would be Seether. And Seether is one of my absolute all-time favorite bands. And they're also South African, as most of you know. And I'd seen them a few times live, but never really got to meet Sean Morgan or Dale Stewart, Never really got to meet the band. So this was my opportunity, and I made it very clear from the beginning that was what I want. Even the guitar that I had, what I was playing with, was a Schecter Diamond Series, which I've seen Sean play with long ago when they started out with Schecter, before they were really endorsed by it or whatever. So I bought that guitar, and I still have it today. So then the story is that we wrote Live the Day basically in that house. And there's another vocalist called Rob Mays, which pretty much helped me write this. I think he did come up with a lot of lyrics, so I'm going to have to probably give him credit on the album for that, which I do. I don't mind, giving people the mechanical royalties where it's due. It's not like I'm going to make millions out of these songs, but hey, if I do, remember the stream. Remember the stream with 0 concurrent viewers at the moment. Me streaming to myself saying that this album is not going to go anywhere. As much as I love the songs, as much as I love my music, I don't foresee in this day and age of music, the style of music that I'm making to actually go anywhere. I love the songs, and I just love playing them, and I wanted to do the best recordings of them that I possibly could and put them down there for good so that I can start writing some new stuff, because this is still an open chapter which I haven't closed, and I want to close it. So I'm doing this album for me, and hopefully there's people out there that can relate to the music and will enjoy it as well. So yeah, so the story behind Live the Day is that, sure, I got evicted, but before I left the house, we actually did a video recording of this song. And then I said to the guys, can we maybe do a cover? Like, I want to do a Seether cover. And we did a song called Truth. Me and a buddy of mine on the 2 acoustics, and kind of made it our own style. And then what happened was, even after I left the competition, Sean Morgan had seen this video. They showed it to him. And I remember sitting at my day job at work, and the phone rang. It was reception, and they were like, there's somebody on the line for you. So I take the phone call, and he says, hey Chaz, it's Sean. and he speaks in Afrikaans, in my native language, talks to me. And I'm like, Sean V. He's like, this Sean. And when he said it the second time, I realized the tone in his voice, and I knew it was him. And I completely freaked out. The people in the office thought I was crazy. But it was such a nice experience just to sit there and actually talk to Sean Morgan on the phone, and that he would give me a call. It was so nice of him, you know. And then on the night of the finals, Cedar was going to be the band, the main band, and there was 2 or 3 bands of the house left to compete. It was the finals. It was the night of everything. So I'd driven all the way there to the competition, to the venue, and I saw Sean's Mesa amp, and I was like, oh, this is the famous rectifier. So I just started helping the guys move the sound in the venue, and as I'm wheeling this amp around, I just hear Chaz, and I look around, and Sean walks right up to me and just gives me the biggest hug, and he said, thanks man, thanks for the song, I really appreciated it. And then, you know, I just ended up spending the whole night with Sean Morgan. It was in the VIP section there, got to sit and chat. He actually told me that he would send me one of his guitars, you know, send me one of his personal guitars, and we'd ship it down. I think he forgot, maybe he was just drunk and talk, but nonetheless, I didn't push for it. I haven't spoken to him since, ever again. They really blew up after that. I mean, they were big before that, but they started playing with Metallica and stuff after that, you know, so yeah, I never really got that opportunity. But that night, me and my sister, we ended up just drinking with Sean Morgan until the morning hours, man. It was a great experience, and I've got some pictures. If you go on my website, chaznilson.com, go to the gallery, you'll see there's some pictures of me and Sean and Dale, and they're all signing my Schecter guitar. And I still have that guitar, man. It's still there, and I still play with it even to today. And the signatures have actually not worn off, so it's great and something I remember.